Next up, protein. All this talk about food is making me hungry.
Protein is found throughout the body in muscle, bone, skin, hair, and virtually every other body part or tissue. It makes up the enzymes that power many chemical reactions and the hemoglobin that carries oxygen in your blood. At least 10,000 different proteins make you what you are and keep you that way. Proteins are essential for growth, especially important for children, teens, and pregnant women, tissue repair, immune function, making essential hormones and enzymes, energy when carbohydrate is not available, and preserving lean muscle mass. Protein is made from 20 basic building blocks called amino acids. Because we don't store amino acids, our bodies make them in two different ways, either from scratch or by modifying others. 9 amino acids, known as the essential amino acids, must come from food. So, how much protein do we need? The National Academy of Medicine recommends that adults get a minimum of 0.8 grams of protein for every kilogram of body weight per day, or just over 7 grams for every 20 pounds of body weight. For a 140-pound person, that means about 50 grams of protein each day. For a 200-pound person, that means about 70 grams of protein each day. The upper intake level is 1.6 grams of protein for every kilogram of body weight, which is twice as much as we just discussed. So 100 grams for the 140-pound person and 140 grams for the 200-pound person. The National Academy of Medicine also sets a wide range for acceptable protein intake, anywhere from 10% to 35% of calories each day. Beyond that, there's relatively little solid information on the ideal amount of protein in the diet or the healthiest target for calories contributed by protein. In an analysis conducted at Harvard among more than 130,000 men and women who were followed for up to 32 years, the percentage of calories from total protein intake was not related to overall mortality or to specific causes of death. However, the source of protein was important. We'll take a look at the protein package in just a minute. It's important to note that millions of people worldwide, especially young children, don't get enough protein due to food insecurity. The effects of protein deficiency and malnutrition range in severity from growth failure and loss of muscle mass to decreased immunity, weakening of the heart and respiratory system, and even death. However, it's uncommon for healthy adults in the U.S. and most other developed countries to have a deficiency because there's an abundance of plant and animal-based foods full of protein. In fact, many in the U.S. are consuming more than enough protein, especially from animal-based foods. People with diabetes and early-stage kidney disease should limit their protein intake. Those individuals should consult their physician or registered dietitian. When we eat foods for proteins, we also eat everything that comes along with it, in particular the fats, fiber, and sodium. It's the protein package that is likely to make a difference for health. Animal protein and vegetable protein probably have the same effects on health. It's the protein package that's likely to make a difference. To illustrate, here we have a 6-ounce broiled porterhouse steak and the same amount of salmon. How do you think that they shake out when we look at the macronutrients? The broiled porterhouse steak is a great source of protein, 38 grams worth. It also delivers 44 grams of fat, 16 of them saturated. That's more than 3/4 of the recommended daily intake for saturated fat, based on a 2,500 calorie diet. The same amount of salmon gives you 34 grams of protein and 18 grams of fat, 4 of them saturated. A cup of cooked lentils has 18 grams of protein, but under 1 gram of fat. So, when choosing protein-rich foods, pay attention to what comes along with the protein. Vegetable sources of protein such as beans, nuts, and whole grains are excellent choices, and they offer healthy fiber, vitamins, and minerals. The best animal protein choices are fish and poultry. If you are partial to red meat, stick with the leanest cuts. Choose moderate portion sizes and make it only an occasional part of your diet. Animal-based foods tend to be good sources of complete protein, while plant-based foods often lack one or more essential amino acids. Those who abstain from eating animal-based foods can eat a variety of protein-containing plant foods each day in order to get all the amino acids needed to make new protein, and also choose to incorporate complete plant proteins like quinoa and chia seeds. Let's compare some protein packages. When considering the protein package, you will probably want to focus on plant and fish proteins. A 4-ounce broiled sirloin steak is certainly a great source of protein with about 33 grams, but it also delivers about 5 grams of saturated fat. A 4-ounce ham steak with 22 grams of protein has only 1.6 grams of saturated fat, but it's loaded with over 1,400 milligrams of sodium. 4 ounces of grilled sockeye salmon has about 30 grams of protein, naturally low in sodium, and contains just over 1 gram of saturated fat. Salmon and other fatty fish are also excellent sources of omega-3 fats, a type of fat that's especially good for the heart. A cup of cooked lentils provides about 18 grams of protein and 15 grams of fiber, and it has virtually no saturated fat or sodium. Are we there yet? That's a wrap on protein. Next up, we will look at fat.